I've compiled a list of every single video game I've ever played, and today, we're gonna rank them. Before we get into it though, you're probably wondering what are the ground rules. So what did I include in this list? Pretty much everything, quite frankly. As long as it's a game that I went out of my way to try and play and enjoy, it's on this list. Even if I've only played it for 5 minutes. I know a lot of people seem to think that unless you 100% a video game, then you don't have any right to review it. But quite frankly, if your game is so terrible that I quit within the first 5 minutes, that's kind of on you, isn't it? So what doesn't count? Well, one, any demo, except for in one specific situation, and any game that I played only to get footage for my YouTube channel. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the video.
Yes. All right then.
There's a lot of games here. I think there's 600 games on this list. What the fuck is in that? Start off, we have a bunch of James Bond stuff. We have a few of the James Bond games, and I've played them.
I'm now aiming precisely at your groin.
007 Agent Under Fire. This is a game I played a ton back in the day, and also, if you saw a recent video, I mentioned that there's a girl in it that I told everybody was my girlfriend. I mean, we weren't that old. It was like elementary school times. But yeah, people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, Agent Under Fire, great game. Everything or Nothing, amazing. Also, one of the best James Bond songs. It's like, everything or nothing at all. You know what I mean? It's like that. Okay, so GoldenEye is going to be my first controversial opinion. I've only played the multiplayer of GoldenEye, and I know people say it's awesome, but maybe it was for people who like that terrible controller. But honestly, mid. I know mid isn't actually in the middle, but let's be real. Nobody uses the term mid to mean neutral. They mean it to mean garbage. Quantum of Solace. This game was awful. It was broken. It's a mess. It was so bad. Everything about it is a lose-lose. A game of dwarves. This is a game that I was excited for because it had dwarves, and then it was boring. Adventure Quest 3D. This game is awful. I hate this game so much. Dragon Fable was awesome. I'm going to say Dragon Fable's masterpiece, quite frankly. They took Adventure Quest and they adapted it to a new generation. You could now move around, you could do action, you could fight people. It was amazing. Adventure Quest is obviously a masterpiece. Maybe it's just because my nostalgia is talking, but if you go back to it, the gameplay itself still holds up and the stories are still interesting. Conan the MMO, playable. They did that weird sponsored Big Bang Theory tie-in.
Sheldor is back online.
I remember watching that and being like, what? It was really weird. They treated it like it was Second Life, which obviously is not what that game is at all. The game is not like Second Life in any way. Okay, Age of Empires 4. I also played this when it was free, and I found it boring. So I'm going to put it in mid. Alpha Protocol. This is a game I streamed. I was streaming this game for a while until I soft-locked myself. So that probably tells you that I don't have a high opinion of it. Yeah, I'm going to say Alpha Protocol playable. Among Us. It's fine. I don't really enjoy those kinds of games where you have to be mean to your friends. I remember in college, they'd always play the game Werewolves. Everybody's mad at each other, and then it ends, and they're like, that was so much fun. I didn't have fun. I didn't have fun at all. And also, all those people I played with, turned out they weren't my friends.
We'd never stab you in the back. We'd never lie or cheat.
Now, we got a bunch of Animal Crossing games here. This is New Leaf, which I played the least of. I do feel like the first one is a masterpiece, though. It just gets everything right when it comes to that kind of simulator game. Every new game, all the animals have to be nice to you, but at the same time, still fulfilling their personality traits. So you get like the snotty person. Instead, they're just passively aggressive. But like in the first Animal Crossing, they just be a dick. You just have this like little cow and they're like, fuck you. I think your house looks like shit. And you're like, okay, thank you. Daggerfall better be a masterpiece. You better know it's not. I'm going to say both of these are great. Armored Core Silent Line. I think this is the only Armored Core game I played. I remember really enjoying it, but it was just so obtuse to play. I mean, I'm sure you guys know about the Armored Core grip, the backwards grip. I didn't do this because I didn't know about this grip at the time, but it's like, I think it's something like this. Like, you hold it like this. But I'm gonna say it's pretty good. It's pretty great. It's a great game. Army of Two. I didn't enjoy this game. I found it really boring. So I'm gonna say it's mid. Assassin's Creed 2 is pretty good, but I fucking hate Ezio. I hate Ezio so much. His accent is so awful. It's just the worst Italian accent.
Requiescat in pace.
I know everybody loves it because they've never heard an Italian person their entire life, but it's terrible. So I'm going to say it's great, but I'm going to say Syndicate is trash. Syndicate is the most boring Assassin's Creed game I've ever played. Actually, no, that's not true. Valhalla is the most boring. Black Flag? I guess let's put that in a masterpiece. That was pretty good. Original Assassin's Creed, masterpiece, and Odyssey is a masterpiece. Atelier. Atelier is a pretty cool franchise. If you want a video game that's about as chill as you can possibly get, there's no stress. There's no worries. Even when bad things are happening, it's fine. It's not really a big deal. You know things are gonna work out. All the people who are bad guys, just a misunderstanding. They're still your friends. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna say both are great. And then we have Batman. I think this is Arkham Asylum. I can't decide if I like Arkham City more or Asylum more, but I think in terms of gameplay and game direction, Asylum is the best easily. So I'm gonna put that one in masterpiece, and I'm gonna put all the other ones in great. Oh, except for Gotham Knights. I played Gotham Knights recently, and that game is so bad. That game is so awful. I can't believe it. Gotham Knights feels like the game that came out before Arkham Asylum.
Remember that time Poison Ivy nearly smothered us in those vines?
Yes.
This is worse.
Battlefield 3 was fine. I'm gonna say playable. It wasn't great. Coming off of Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3 was just like a disappointment. They got rid of the destructible environments. The classes weren't as enjoyable. The maps weren't as like big and fun. It was whatever. Bad Company 2 though, I haven't played the single player campaign, but the multiplayer for Bad Company 2 cannot be beat. The best first person shooter game, period. The story in Bad Company is pretty good. I don't even know if there's multiplayer in Bad Company. Oh my god, Bionicle the video game. Bionicle is a masterpiece, obviously.
Created by Makuta and brought to life by the Krata. Bionicle.
I hate Borderlands so much. I have ADHD, so like for me, constantly getting loot is really exciting, but it felt really boring in Borderlands. Cell shaded? Borderlands is actually not cell shaded. A lot of people think cell shaded is just having the big black borders, which is not. That's a totally different thing. Bully is fine, honestly. I know a lot of people really like Bully, but I didn't enjoy it. As a 18, I loved that I could kiss boys in Bully. Was a big deal back then. I didn't even think about that. I don't think I kissed anybody because I didn't like any of the characters. Burnout 3 Takedown. This game is a masterpiece, 100%. Back when I was a kid, we had like local movie stores where you'd go and you rent DVDs and VHSs. And so I rented Burnout 3 a few times. And I was like, this game's amazing. I gotta get this game. I need this game. So anyway, I was at the local GameStop and I saw Burnout 3 on the shelf and I was like, oh, it's only $5? This is crazy. This is out of control. I can't believe they're selling Burnout 3 for only $5. At Walmart, it was like $50. So yeah, I was like, Mom, can you buy this? She's like, yeah, sure. No problem. It's only $5. So anyway, we bought it. And then I was like, man, Mom, I can't believe we found Burnout 3 for only $5. And she's like, Burnout 3? You know the one you purchased is Burnout 1, right? And I was like, yeah, I knew that. I just said it wrong. I just was joking. I didn't want to admit to my mom, like, this thing I was really excited for that you just bought me is the wrong game. It's the wrong video game. I was more worried about my mom being disappointed in me being disappointed about it, you know what I mean? But she clearly knew that I was lying about that. She's like, are you sure we can just go back and return it? And I'm like, no, this is the game I want. This is what I want. I'm gonna go home and play this. So anyway, I went home and I played Burnout and it wasn't as fun. So I'm gonna say mid because I didn't enjoy it. Introverted kids be like, yeah, exactly, 100%. Okay, Dangerous Hunts 2. I also have a funny story about Dangerous Hunts 2. There's like the story campaign. It's very on rails. And there was this one area where you go to Africa. There was this guy and he was leading us down this trail. And yeah, we came up to this rock and he walked up to the rock and then he fell through the rock. He fell through the rock and then he was just gone for the rest of the level. I don't mean like there was a whole, like it was part of the story. I mean, he clipped through the world and he fell out of the level and was just gone. He never came back. So yeah, masterpiece, obviously. Castlevania, oh my god, this Castlevania game is so good. It's pretty bad. It really wanted to be God of War 3, and it wasn't. But I find the story really interesting. I think the game was really good, so I'm gonna say masterpiece. Original Castlevania, playable. If you don't have nostalgia for this game, you should never be playing it. Champions of Noreth is also amazing. I think the second one's the one I played more though, but I'm gonna put both in great. At the end, you gotta determine the #1 game and the biggest piece of trash. That's a good idea. I mean, I already know my #1 game. Champions Online was pretty good. I never played City of Heroes because I didn't have a copy of it, and then it closed down around the same time that Champions Online came out. But I know people like that game more. But I'm going to say Champions Online is great. Chivalry 2 is also pretty good. I'm going to say great because there are things I don't like about it. Call of Duty 3, what is that one? Honestly, all of these PS2 Call of Duty and Medal of Honor games, identical. I'm going to say they're all playable. Oh, Black Ops was pretty good. Modern Warfare 2, I'm going to say masterpiece. Modern Warfare 4, I haven't played a whole lot of Modern Warfare 4, so I'm just going to say it's great. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, I hated that game. Crackdown, now that's a great game. Crackdown 2, great game. Fantastic. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, that's pretty good. But in the same tier as Champions? No way. Terrible. Terrible game, actually, I've decided. So there you go. Dark Messiah, Might and Magic. That was pretty good. I'll put that great. Dark Souls masterpiece. Budokai 3. Is Budokai 3 the one where you can fly around? Yes, this is the one where you can fly around. Okay, Budokai 3 masterpiece, which means Budokai 1 is great. Budokai 1's pretty good. I did really enjoy it, but the improvements they made in 2 and 3 are just phenomenal. Kakarot, I'm gonna say, is a great game. It's not quite a masterpiece, but it's really good. Infinite Crisis, oh my god. So back when League of Legends was huge, DC decided to make their own version of League of Legends called Infinite Crisis, and it was awful. I don't know how long this game lasted. It was like available to play for a month because it was so bad and boring. So I'm gonna put it in trash, obviously. Deadliest Warrior, the game. Trash, terrible. What an awful game. Why did they make it?
I just don't see this as being lethal. But it's a very sweet weapon if you're throwing against a naked savage.
Digimon Cyber Sleuth. This is actually a really good game. I'm going to put the first Cyber Sleuth in great, and I'm going to put Hacker's Memory in masterpiece, because Hacker's Memory has such a better story. Anyway, Digimon Masters is trash. It's probably one of the worst MMOs ever made. It looks so cool, too. You're like, this game looks so good. No. Digimon World 3, by the way, one of the best games ever made. Honestly, I think Digimon World 3 is better than every single Pokemon game. And I haven't even played that many. Okay, here we go. Dragon Age. Dragon Age Origins? It has a lot of problems, but I'm gonna put in masterpiece. The world is kind of boring. They don't do quite enough to make it stand out on its own. But the game itself overall is really good. Dragon Age 2, God, I hate that game so much. I do always tell the classic story of it's one of the only games, actually I think it is the only game I've ever fallen asleep while playing. And to be fair, it did turn out that I had like a heart condition, but still, the game itself sucks. Dragon Age Inquisition, I actually kind of liked it. I'm going to put it in great. If you go into Dragon Age Inquisition with the mindset that it's an MMO without any of the people, then you'll have a slightly better time. I know that doesn't sound good. Dragon Quest XI. This game is awesome. If you like JRPGs and you haven't played Dragon Quest XI, what the fuck are you doing? Duck Hunt is amazing. Everything about Duck Hunt is just so perfectly crafted. It's the only time a video game has ever made me want to shoot a dog. Dynasty Warriors 3, masterpiece, 100%. Amazing game.
You're in good hands. You're in my hands.
Why does it zoom in on his penis? But Dynasty Warriors 4 is also a masterpiece. I think Dynasty Warriors 4 is the best Dynasty Warriors game, honestly. Dynasty Warriors 5 is in this order. 4, then 3, then 5. That's my opinions. Dynasty Warriors 6 is obviously trash, and Dynasty Warriors 9 is trash. Dynasty Warriors Online, masterpiece. That game was so good. I wish it still existed. Aragon, the video game, sucks so much. I was such a big fan of those books, and that movie and that game were terrible. Europa Universalis is, I'm gonna say it's great. It's not my cup of tea, but I enjoyed it. Same with Eve. Eve Online, actually, you know what? I'm just going to put EVE Online in playable. EverQuest 2, pretty good. I didn't play a ton of it, but I'm going to say great. I don't think I played EverQuest 1 at all. Fable 2 is also great, and Fable 3 is playable. And Fall Guys, I guess I'll say great, although I've only played it once. Fallout 3, I played very little. I'm going to say mid. Fallout 4, I'm going to say is mid. Fallout New Vegas, I'm going to say is trash. Okay, whoa, now I know. I need to explain myself here. Yes, Fallout New Vegas is one of those beloved games that everybody likes to say is a perfect masterpiece, and I don't think it is. But don't worry, even though I don't explain myself here, that's because I actually plan on making an entirely separate video talking about why I think that game is garbage. Anyway, back to the video. But also Fallout 76 is trash. Far Cry 2 is pretty good. I'm gonna put that in great. Far Cry Primal, the funny thing is, I went from Far Cry 2 to Far Cry Primal, and there have been so many games in between, and they felt identical. There has not been a single change in the gameplay aspect whatsoever. It was crazy. Okay, this is a game I 100% want to stream. This game is called Fate. Now, this is the only game on here that is a game that I only played the demo of. And it's because I played it so goddamn... I played this game so goddamn much. If you had Windows XP, you probably already know about this game. So Fate, masterpiece, obviously, of course. Fire Emblem Three Houses, masterpiece. Amazing game. So goddamn good. Fire Emblem Engage, pretty good gameplay. The story is kind of boring. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, masterpiece. Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, I don't remember that much, and I didn't get very far, but I'm going to put great. Fortnite, I'm going to say is mid. Like, I can understand why people enjoy it, but I did not. Forza Motorsport 4. That was a really good game. I used to play that all the time. That was back when I still was into cars, before I had a car accident. Freddy Fish. What Freddy Fish is this? Well, whatever Freddy Fish this was that I played, it was, honestly, it was fine. It was fine. So there's a Friends thing here. And for those who might not know, Friends is a show that I despise, but I had a friend who just so happens to be the same one that I said shit talked me behind my back. Anyway, we used to do a YouTube channel together, and this was something he really wanted to play on the YouTube channel for some reason, so he did, and it was garbage. It was awful. Honkai Star Rail, masterpiece, obviously. Genshin Impact, masterpiece, of course. Ghost of Tsushima, masterpiece. First God of War, great. Second God of War, mid. And here's my reason, okay? I know a lot of people are probably astounded at that. But God of War 2, goddamn, is it just the same game? It looks a little bit different, but not by much. New God of War masterpiece. Halo 3 ODST, now that's a good game. Multiplayer kind of boring, but the story is great. Halo 4, mid. Halo 1. What was the story even about? I don't remember. I'm gonna put in great. Hearthstone, trash. I hate that game so much. Kingdom Hearts 1, I'm gonna say is great, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is a masterpiece. I really want to go back and replay Kingdom Hearts 2, because I'm curious if I still think it is. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 I hate so much. I hate it so goddamn much. I despise that game. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is playable. It was fine. LA Noire was weird. I'm gonna say LA Noire is great, but man, that game at the same time, I kind of hate it. League of Legends is obviously trash. Lord of the Rings, the Lego Lord of the Rings, boring. Honestly, in hindsight, all of the Lego games, kind of boring. I know I haven't played the new one, which apparently is amazing, but, oh, wait, no, Lego Racers 2, masterpiece. Everything that Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts wish it was. Lost Ark. Lost Ark could have been so good. Amazon just fucking ruined that game so hard. Anyway, Lord of the Rings Return of the King, masterpiece, obviously. Lord of the Rings Aragorn's Quest for the PS2, terrible game, and so is the Wii version. Battle for Middle-earth 2 was really good. They'll put that in great. Conquest was awful. I'll put in playable. It was playable, right? Fellowship of the Ring, amazing game. Masterpiece. Lord of the Rings Online, great game. Shadow of Mordor, I'm gonna put it in playable. They're both playable. I enjoyed them, but in hindsight, like if Shadow of Mordor wasn't set in the Lord of the Rings universe, would you really notice? Probably not, honestly. Cantina, Where's Oblivion? It's all the way down in the T's. Where is all the Elder Scrolls games, actually? What the fuck? Oh, I left off so much, including my favorite game of all time. That's a bit sad. Okay, I've added, look how much I just added. Oh my god, I thought I was so close. I thought I was almost done. Lord of the Rings Third Age, masterpiece. The Hobbit, apparently I played the worst version, but I'm gonna say it's mid, because that's the only one I can base my opinion off of. Two Towers, amazing. Better than Return of the King, in my opinion. Lord of the Rings War of the North is also really good, but I'm gonna put that in great. It could have been better. Mario Kart 64, I kind of low-key hate this game. I'm gonna put it in mid. Maybe it's because I played it with the friends group that was the worst people ever. Maybe for another reason. Mario Kart 8, pretty good game. Mario Kart Double Dash, masterpiece, obviously. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, this game sucks. That's a terrible game. Mass Effect number 1, I'm gonna say is great. Mass Effect number 2, playable. Mass Effect 2 was better than Mass Effect 1 until the end. When they revealed the enemy that we were trying to stop was just a giant robot human, I was like, the fuck is this? This is so stupid. And then, of course, they made Mass Effect 3, and the story got even dumber. And yeah, I played like 30 minutes of that, and I was like, this is awful. Also, Mass Effect Andromeda is also awful. Math Blaster, so good, so iconic. Masterpiece. I'm gonna say Enter the Matrix is great, and Path of Neo is worse than Enter the Matrix, so I'm gonna say it's playable. Mega Man, look, I'm gonna say it's great. It's Mega Man 3, by the way. Mega Man 3 is so fucking hard. That game is so hard. Mercenaries. Mercenaries 1 is a masterpiece. Mercenaries 2, not quite as good. They did improve it in some ways, but overall, it didn't quite hit the mark. Metroid Prime, amazing. Amazing game. Minecraft is obviously a masterpiece. How can you possibly make a game so simple, but it's so goddamn good? Monsters, Inc., masterpiece. Everybody knows. Everybody knows the PlayStation 1 Monsters, Inc. game is a masterpiece. That's just a common fact. Mordhau would be good if it wasn't so filled with, like, really awful racists and Nazis. Mountain Blade, Bannerlord, it's pretty good. I'll give it a great. They all, you know what? They're all great. They're all about the same. Magic Duels of the Planeswalker, great game. Very simple introductory course into how to play Magic. Fun game. fun decks. Well, My Sims is trash. That game sucks. The thing with My Sims, my best friend growing up who had like the Wii and the GameCube, and we were so excited for My Sims. I'm pretty sure they got it like day one. Worst game ever made. Naruto, whatever this Naruto game is, Ultimate Ninja. Look, I hate Naruto, but the game is pretty good. I'll give them that. I'll say it's great. Hot Pursuit 2, this is genuinely a masterpiece. Most Wanted is also a really good game. We got Ninja Gaiden Black is amazing. Ninja Gaiden 2 is great. And I remember not liking Ninja Gaiden 3, but I remember it being fine. Both of the Pathfinder games are really good. You know, I'm gonna put both of them in masterpiece. Pokemon Coliseum is so good. Why is there no Pokemon Coliseum, the sequel? I'm gonna put it in masterpiece, even though I didn't play it that much. Pokemon Fire Red. Okay, so I haven't actually played the actual Pokemon Fire Red. Nintendo, if you're listening, turn the stream off, okay? Just turn it off for a few minutes and come back. I played the Pokemon Fire Red MMO. It's literally Pokemon Fire Red, but you're playing with other people. I mean, even without that, Fire Red is a masterpiece. Pokemon Go is trash. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is also trash. And Pong is fine. Now, Pong 3D. If you thought the first Pong was good, you don't know nothing. Because Pong 3D is out of control. It's literally Pong, but it's 3D. Yeah, it's a playable game. You can play it. Powerpuff Girls Relish Rampage. Bro, if you like Powerpuff Girls and you haven't played Relish Rampage, you're basically missing out, sort of. It's better than you think it would be. It's not great. It's not crazy. I mean, I did put it in masterpiece, I think. Prince of Persia Remake was fine. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna say great. And then I'm gonna say Sands of Time is a masterpiece. Okay, so here's my story with Prince of Persia 2 Thrones. Prince of Persia, there's 2 of them. The Sands of Time is rated teen, so at the time I wasn't able to play Warrior Within or 2 Thrones, but eventually I was allowed to play rated M games, so I played 2 Thrones because it was the only one I could get a hold of. I'm pretty sure it was middle school. Like, it had to have been middle school for this story to make any sense. I remember on the back it says nudity in the ESRB rating. In the Azurb rating, nudity is one of the things. And I was like, oh my god, bro, there's nudity? There's nudity in this video game, you say? I'm gonna see somebody naked? So I played through the entire game, and I'm like, yo, what happened to the nudity? Where'd it go? When was the part where somebody gets naked? And then I was thinking back on it, I'm like, wait a minute. Was the nudity the giant, disgusting monster that had their boobs out that, like, you wouldn't even notice because they're just a weird big blob? It's like Jabba the Hutt. Was that the nudity? Anyway, a really good game. Raid Shadow Legends. Obviously, that's a masterpiece. Nobody can deny it. So this Riddick here, this is Escape from Butcher Bay, and this game is so good. Now, the sequel, Riddick something Dark Athena, way worse.
If you say so.
I'm gonna put it in playable. Risen was fine. Honestly, I'm gonna put Risen in playable. RuneScape, old school RuneScape. Masterpiece. Samurai Warriors 2 is so good. Great game. Samurai Warriors 2 Empires, one of the better Empires games, so that's obviously great. Samurai Warriors 3, a worse game, put in playable. Samurai Warriors 4, the same. It's about as good as Samurai Warriors 3. Samurai Warriors 5, great. Not quite a masterpiece. Not quite. Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase. Amazing. Scooby-Doo Nights of 100 Frights. I haven't played this in so long. I remember it being fine. It's not as good as Cyber Chase, so I guess I'll say great. And then Shadow of Colossus. I haven't beat Shadow of Colossus, but that game is so good. Very depressing game to play. Shadow the Hedgehog? Bro, you don't even know how good Shadow the Hedgehog is. But I'm gonna wait and review it when we get to Sonic. Sleeping Dogs, I thought it was fine. Sly Cooper, the Thievius Recuperus, masterpiece. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, masterpiece. Amazing game. Sonic and Knuckles, masterpiece. Amazing game. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, masterpiece. Sonic Racing. It has Danica Patrick? It has a real human.
Sonic the Hedgehog is gearing up for a brand new race with all of his friends. And look who's joining that race. It's NASCAR star Danica Patrick.
It's really weird. Shadow the Hedgehog. Sonic, on his own, pretty good. With a gun?
Just what was that all about?
Now that's next level. Masterpiece. Soul Calibur 2. I'm gonna put it in great. It's so sad that Link only comes on the GameCube version. I mean, it makes sense. I'm pretty sure if you get the PS2 version, you just don't get an additional character. Like, you think the PS2 version would have, like, Crash Bandicoot or some shit? Soul Calibur 3. Masterpiece. Soul Calibur 4. It's fine. Okay, so Spy Fox is next. Now, I've got an interesting story about Spy Fox. As a kid, everybody was always talking about Star Fox. Everybody's like, I love Star Fox. It's such a great game. And I'm like, I also love Star Fox. That's a really good game. And then I found out later that the game that I played wasn't called Star Fox. It was called Spy Fox. And they were talking about a completely different game. So yeah, I've never played Star Fox. But I have played Spy Fox Hold the Mustard, which isn't even a true Spy Fox game. It's a spin-off Spy Fox game. So anyway, it's pretty good. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is amazing. PS2 version, obviously, not the new one. Obviously, KOTOR deserves masterpiece.
Light side, dark side, they don't mean the same to me as they do to you. I don't see in absolutes. Belonging to the Jedi Order, or the Sith, or any group, won't change what you are at your core.
And KOTOR 2. Jedi Academy is amazing. Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is so good. Star Wars lightsaber battle game. I still have the orb thing. And I was trying to figure out what it was because I was like, I have no idea what this thing was called. So I'll just Google Star Wars lightsaber battle game. And it turns out that's literally what it was called. So yeah, masterpiece, obviously. Super Bombad Racing, however, now that's amazing. Bro, you gonna tell me Super Bombad Racing isn't Bombad to the max? I don't think so. Okay, I clearly didn't do a good job of grouping some of these together. You guys wanted to know what my favorite video game of all time is? It's Suikoden 5. Suikoden 5 is the best game ever made, period. If you haven't played any of the Suikoden games, they are so goddamn good. Suikoden 2 is also amazing, just such a good game. Suikoden 4 is, of the mainline games, it's the worst one.
Is that snow?
Commander! It's terrible! The ship! The ship!
But like, when you say the worst Suikoden game, you're still saying like one of the best JRPGs of all time.
Incredible. So you decided to just abandon your ship?
I know, but my arm wouldn't move, don't you understand?
Super Mario Bros. One of the first games I ever played. I'm gonna say it's great. It's pretty good. Luigi's Mansion, on the other hand, Luigi's Mansion is a masterpiece. Super Mario Bros. U, I'm gonna say is trash. I don't like that game. Super Mario Odyssey, that's a pretty good game. You can't not say it's a masterpiece. However, you're probably wondering, the Cantina. What is your favorite Mario game? Of all the Mario games, which one is the most iconic for you? Super Mario Sunshine. I know it's a very divisive video game. I think it's awesome. I understand why it's divisive, because it's broken, it doesn't play well, and it's also really weird. Why did they decide to make a game where Mario goes to prison? Mario goes to prison and then he has to do community service. All right, here we go. All the Super Smash Bros. Games. Super Smash Bros. N64. Masterpiece. Super Smash Bros. GameCube. Masterpiece. Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii. Masterpiece. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. Garbage. Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch. Masterpiece. Teen Titans. Teen Titans for the PS2. Boring. Boring game. Tales of Vesperia is a really good game. I'm not a big fan of the combat, though. They improve it a lot better in Tales of Arise, which is also a masterpiece. Elder Scrolls Arena, playable. Elder Scrolls Travels, Oblivion, garbage, one of the worst games ever made. Morrowind, great game. Where the fuck are the other Elder Scrolls games? Oh, they're all in random places. Oh, what the hell? How did this happen? Where's Skyrim? Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, great game. Elder Scrolls Online, great game. Elder Scrolls Oblivion, great game. Elder Scrolls Skyrim, great game. They're all of equal quality. Blades is trash though. Blades is awful. And the Outer Worlds is a masterpiece. The Outer Worlds is so good. Oh, there's Redguard. Redguard's a masterpiece. Redguard's the only Elder Scrolls game that deserves masterpiece title. Because it actually has a good story.
The prince is dead! Long live the prince!
Battlespire, absolutely terrible. Just awful, awful game. Total War 3 Kingdoms is awesome. It's such a good game.
For I would rather betray the world than have the world betray me.
I'm gonna put in Masterpiece, and I'm gonna put Medieval 2 in Masterpiece also. It hasn't quite aged as well, but it's still pretty fun to play. Troy was awful. I'm gonna put it in mid, because it's boring. Thrillville Off the Rails. That was a boring game. It was really boring. I'm gonna put it in playable. Imagine Roller Coaster Tycoon, but less fun. Two Worlds 1, Masterpiece. I know I said it was the worst RPG, and technically it still is. But man, when I think back on it, I'm like, yeah, no, that game was good. That game was good. Two Worlds 2, awful, unplayable. They took everything that made Two Worlds 1 good and got rid of it. Now, Two Worlds Castle Defense, That's playable. Wave Race. Now, Wave Race is a game where you race jet skis. That's it. It was pretty fun. I'm gonna put it in playable. Wind Waker, amazing. Amazing game. Absolute masterpiece. One of the best games ever made. I haven't beaten it. I haven't finished it. I haven't finished a single Zelda game. Zelda Breath of the Wild, it was good. I'm gonna put it in playable. I know it's kind of a meme that I hate on it, but at the same time, too many very glaring issues with that game that I have. Like the fact that opening the chest isn't exciting because unless you're in a dungeon, a chest is guaranteed to be absolutely useless. Okay, Ocarina of Time, and that's pretty good. I'm gonna put it in great. Hyrule Warriors is fine. I'm gonna put it in playable. It's whatever. Zelda Twilight Princess, I don't know. I didn't like it. Tyranny, I haven't played a ton of, but it was pretty fun what I did play. Vampire is pretty great, but I can't put it in masterpiece. Even with like the mod that fixes everything, I still wouldn't say it's quite a masterpiece. Call of Duty Warzone is trash. There you go. Ultima 9 is also awful. Terrible game. Blazak is really good. I really like Blazak. Great game. Okay, we have Witcher 1. Witcher 1 so far has been pretty good. Witcher 2, masterpiece. Witcher 3, not as good. Not quite as good. A little bit worse. Tower of Fantasy was kind of boring. Warframe, I didn't like. But this was also before it was completely remade. Zoo Tycoon, now that's a great game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, you know what? I want to say it's so good because it should be so good, but goddamn do I hate Master Duel. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, really good game. I'm gonna put it in great, and I'm also gonna put this other Yu-Gi-Oh! Game in great. There we go. I've ranked probably every video game, maybe. 4 hours. Oh god, this is gonna be a nightmare to edit. It's gonna be so long. If you want to actually try my entire list, I have a link to it in the description. And if you want to try and counter some of my opinions, I mean, I don't know why you would. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think of some of my decisions on this list. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.